Interviews for courier jobs will take place May 17th in Roxbury. The Urban League of Eastern Massachusetts will host the interviews for Skycom Courier, a service of RTD Logistics. To tell us about the jobs and the company is Skycom's founder and president, Scott Baker. Thank you much for being with us, Scott.
You're welcome.
First of all, tell me first how you got this company started.
Well, about 30 some odd years ago, myself and originally two partners, we decided we didn't want to work for anyone else, and we were perusing through magazines, figuring out a way that we could be productive members of society and employ a lot of folks in and around our communities. And we found an article that suggested there was some profit and money to be made in express delivery and logistics businesses, overnight shipping in particular.
Now, most of us think of, UPS and FedEx trucks. Talk about how your company's at least a little different from that.
Sure. Well, in a number of ways. One, when we first started, we were what was called a freight consolidator. We did the similar things that they did, but we used a lot of our own resources and manpower to deliver most of the deliveries within, say, the 128 belt within our local communities and our local regional areas. The others, deliveries that were going outside of that, we did ship right back through those major carriers at a slight discounted rate. Currently, we're more of an expedited same-day delivery company. We service a lot of healthcare institutions and law firms and manufacturers and deliver more on a day-to-day basis primarily. We do some cross-dock services where we'll pick up and hold materials for 1 to 2 days and ship them locally within our distribution strength areas of the regional greater Boston areas.
And what about the jobs themselves that you're trying to fill?
Right now, we're currently looking for customer service representatives. Those are the folks who would be interacting with our customers, as they call, to ship tender goods for delivery, as well as drivers who would deliver and actually perform the delivery services as well.
What does a good customer service representative need to have going?
Oh, they certainly got to be attentive to detail, be able to communicate well, have a general knowledge of the area, the greater Boston region, and just be a good communicator, able to solve problems and determine what a customer is asking for us and how it relates to our products and services and how we would best fulfill that.
Well, courier, I know got to have a driver's license and at least a passable record, but aside from that, what are you looking for?
Well, those two help. Probably some would deem them actually required, but basically someone who's on time. We're in a time-sensitive business, and when you're delivering things, taking custody of one's goods, it's good to be reliable, and again, basically detail-oriented. So, for instance, if you were to give me something that you owned or possessed and wanted to deliver it on the other end, timeliness and attention to that chain of custody is very important for a courier.
What would you recommend for people who are coming for interviews? Because, not many of us go to high school trying to be a courier when we grow up, but there are things they've done along the way that would probably matter a lot to you if you were trying to decide which person to hire.
Absolutely. I think first and foremost, a good driving record is essential, showing that you can act responsibly on the roadways. Meaning that would be your primary means of getting paid. Also, again, being able to communicate well. We basically serve our customers, so they are giving us directions of how they would like items to be delivered. In our office, in our control center, our customer service center, we basically interpret that and then send those deliveries out to field agents who actually perform the delivery. So them being able to actually read those instructions and communicate well, they're getting them done on their own volition at our instructions. So it's good that they're able to follow those particular customer orders and translate that into an on-time delivery.
I do have to ask you about one of the challenges. I've lived in Boston most of my life. I know how to get around Dorchester and Roxbury, but outside of here, I'm as confused as somebody from California. So how do people cope with that?
Well, in recent times, as you know, Google and Waze, all the little apps help a lot. When I first came, when we first started the business, we were reading the big Atlas map books. Myself from Los Angeles, California, the roadways in Boston made no sense. Everything's circular, very small streets, and kind of parochial. If you weren't from those areas, very difficult to get around. Now it's a lot easier with the GPS devices and a lot of ways that can help you determine the most efficient ways to get around. So that helps a lot.
I also have to ask you about why you decided to do this recruiting through the Urban League. I'm sure there are other ways to put out a help wanted sign and get a bunch of people. So why do it this way?
There are, however, Darnell Williams, the head of the Urban League, I've known for quite a while. I consider him a good friend. I know that he's put on a lot of programs that are meant to benefit and help utilize some of the resources that are available in and around the city. As well, we are a minority-owned business, and we exist in a city hub zone, which is predominantly, one of the underutilized economic zones within the city where we're located in Alston. So we thought it'd be a kind of a good marriage to get some synergies to recruit people from the areas that we serve and from the businesses that we're also trying to serve. And it's a wealth of resources I think that are being underutilized in the community. So we decided to take that approach.
This is going to be happening on May 17th at the Urban League headquarters, 88 Warren Street. And if people want some more information either about the event or your company, what's the best way to check that out?
Sure, they can reach us at skycomcourier.com on the web, and we also have a site. They can go straight to jobs at skycomcourier.com, and they can interactively enter their information, and one of our representatives will call them back and give them more information and information about the actual opening positions.